G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we are on Gorge to watch two Conqueror 3 players face off. And of course these are no Conqueror 3 players. Well, I shouldn't say they're no Conqueror 3, but they're just not your ordinary Conqueror 3 players. No, these are much better, much more advanced, much more technical, especially strong players. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the north of the map in the color purple, playing as the Ayyubids, we've got our Chinese friend. And on the south side of the map, in the color teal, or light blue, playing as the English, I think cyan is what people often say this color is. It's Baldimus Maximus, aka Demu. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to A Caster Game. A pleasure to have your company here today as we witness what might be a little bit strange. Look at this. Now, I've been gone for a long time. When I say I've been gone, I haven't really been gone. I just haven't been posting. I just haven't been watching too many games of Age of Empires 4. But I've been playing games of Age of Empires 4. I've been playing against the English. And one of the things I have not seen is this. What is this? Have a look at this. Now, this is something that we used to see all the time. Oh, that's going to be a dead scout if he's not careful for. Oh, my God. If the Vils were under the TC because he was on sheep, that would have been a dead scout. Or it should have been, arguably. Not going to be the case. Anyway, what we used to see, this was a really common thing, was basically where you'd like open up and you'd do an early wheelbarrow from your mill and you'd start like this. It was really kind of designed for fast castles. Basically, you'd start off with a whole bunch of farms. Normally you'd go like 6 farms or something. You'd get wheelbarrow and then you'd go fast castle off that. And the whole idea was that you had safe food in your base. And it didn't matter how many sheep you got because you always had food from the very beginning of the game. And it meant that your sheep lasted a lot longer because of that. So that's part of the reason why. A little bit of a Vil issue right there, but he's fixed it up. So anyway, I'm curious to see whether or not that is going to be his mindset for this game and whether or not he looks to switch things up, because typically this wasn't an optimal opening. So I don't know, maybe has the meta changed and I'm seeing this for the first time? Maybe. Well, it depends. It depends. We'll have to wait and see. Let's check in on the other side of the map because we do now have our House of Wisdom coming up for the opponent. Looks like it's going to be a pretty standard play here. It could be a little bit late though. That age up technically. Well, he's put another villain queue, so it's going to take him a bit of time. I'm always a sucker for like these little optimal timings here. We do have ourselves a little bit of sheep collection on the backside. Now, with regard to today's cast, I will just say that this casted game is our second casted game back-to-back. I think it'll probably be, yeah, probably the second video that you'll see in a while, because I played the game earlier today. I don't know whether or not it'll go before this or that. But anyway, we've got the Culture Wing Logistics coming through, so I love this a lot. Starting off with Culture Wing Logistics and then going Fast Castle, but doing it in a little bit of a different way. So this is a smart move. It basically means that you get those dervish out nice and early. Whether or not we see the Fast Castle, though, we'll have to wait and see. Let's check back in on the other side. With regard to today's drink, I will just say right now, seeing as the Red Bull Wallalol is coming up, I feel like it's only appropriate for today's drink to be none other than Red Bull. Of course, it's Red Bull. I'll give you a taste test. Hold on. Give me a second here. Oh, our scout stopped moving. All right, 3, 2, 1. Taste test. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. I thought they were all meant to come from the same batch. Maybe that's as sweet as yesterday's one. I don't know. So, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. But anyway, it's a good Red Bull. That's the drink of the day. We are, of course, standing at the sit-stand desk. Let's get into it, because the Second Age is almost upon us. We're out of the Dark Age into the Feudal Age. And 7 villagers are building the Abbey of Kings. That's a lot of villagers to be building this landmark. 348. This is the strangest opening I've seen in a long time coming out of Demu here. Let's check back in on the other side, though, and see what he sees. Get an idea of his vision. He's handed off the sheep back to the town center. He's got 13, compared to Demu, who's got, at the moment, 3 under the TC, and probably a whole bunch following the scout. Indeed, he does. He's got, I'm trying to select them, 7 behind. So, at the moment, we've definitely got the victory of sheep going over to our Chinese friend today. Abbey of Kings almost up. So, what's the point in going for 7 vills on the Abbey of Kings? Why do we need to do this? Well, we get our king earlier, so that's part of the reason. And we're also kind of delayed in our age up because we went for so many farms. So, is he trying to find the best of both worlds in the sense that he is aging up at a relatively competitive time? 4 minutes 25, 4 minutes 30 is a great time to be aging up, but at the same time he's still investing in his economy. Not investing in his economy, but rather increasing the length of time that he's got access to these sheep, which I think is the big thing here. Age up has come through. Dervish now going to be put down on the other side of the map, and it almost certainly looks like it's going to be a fast castle beginning to move out onto the map with these dervish. And of course, when you've got dervish, it just makes sense to get them out over onto those relics as quickly as you can, and I don't see any world where our Ayyubid player doesn't get all 5 relics here, with the exception of one. And that is the exception where Demu decides, hey, I am actually going to go fast castle and I'm going to contest these with the white tower. Because that's what the old strategy used to be. It used to be we'd go for like a 1 base white tower fast castle with knight spam. That was it. You'd go English knights and you'd go absolutely troppo there. But it's not going to be the case. Instead, moving into a stable in the feudal age, Demu does, and looks to begin moving north with that king. Oh, excuse me. Normally I'd mute my mic for that burp, but you know what? We're back, baby. And I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? If you guys hear me burp, that's just it. I've just had Red Bull. What, like, you gonna get mad at a guy for burping after Red Bull? Get out of here. I can't believe you people. Anyway, it's all right. There's probably no one that's upset. It's gonna be the Germans that are upset. They'll be like, das ist disgusting. Disgusting. It's a Canadian German. Oh, gosh. Anyway, let's get back to the game. A Canadian German. Is that a thing? It probably is. It's a German who migrated to Canada, or a Canadian who migrated to Germany. Maybe they were born in Canada. They got Canadian parents, but they grew up speaking German, so they still have like a little bit of the Canadian accent influencing them. Anyway, have a look at this. We got the dervish that's healing up the vills. Of course, he doesn't need to be out over on these relics just yet. His opponent will know. We've got reinforcement coming through. His opponent's obviously going to know which wing he's gone up with. And you're not going to be going up with the super duper fast age up to get to age 2. It just doesn't make sense. So it almost guarantees the fact that he's going to be going for these dervish early on. So it means that Demu on the other side is going to be thinking, okay, I need to control the relics. I need to make sure those relics are mine. So that's what he's thinking. Now we are going to have the reinforcements coming through, which is going to be absolutely lovely. Now dervish is actually getting taken out. He does have that nice little healing aura, but unfortunately not going to be nearly enough to keep himself alive against these horsemen. But I tell you what, bringing his dervish friend over, he's got absolutely no problems keeping everybody alive. These two pals over here, these best of friends. So I like the fact that Demu has gone into these horsemen, because these horsemen aren't just going to allow the dervish to just do whatever they want, because that's the reality, right? If you don't react to these dervish, or if you go for infantry or something like that, they're just going to run rings around you. They're going to go pick up the relic. They're going to move it up to the top side of the map. Maybe bring this one back, secure it a little bit as well. There's so many things they can do. And it just really gives you the advantage. But we now start to see the stable coming up here for our purple player. We are getting it on. The second age almost over. The third age about to begin, of course. We're talking about not the feudal age, the castle age. I was tempted to say the Fortress Age right there, but I didn't want to get the Age of Empires 3 guys all excited. Apparently there's something going on with Age of Empires 3 at the moment. I don't know what the deal is, but I got a whole bunch of DMs from people that were talking about, like, hey, Age of Empires 3. I was like, hey, bro, I don't know if you've seen, but I don't even play Age of Empires 4 at the moment. And, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we have to go check that out. Let me know down in the comments. Do we have to go check that out? It'd be nice to go back and see Age of Empires 3. I do miss Age of Empires 3. It's a good, fun game. It's a shame. It's a shame what happened. Age up about to come through a little bit after the 8-minute mark here. Reinforcements, keep in mind this is going to be popping out units for him immediately. Well, horsemen obviously quite decent against them because they do get the double bonus. They get the bonus damage here. So we've got the Desert Raiders out. He's going to flick them over to the ranged and force back these horsemen for the moment. Of course, we don't want to go into the town center, so naturally Demu decides to go the other way, and it's going to be King's Palace on the other side of the map. So now the question for me is, how does Demu prevent these relics from being taken? Because we're going into a King's Palace, so technically, yes, we're scaling, but those relics are important, and we can see right now the Dervish getting forced back. Of course, the Desert Raider is going to be able to help keep those cavalry units at bay, and we'll be able to successfully pick up this contested relic. Meanwhile, towards the south, we've already got one on the board coming through, and of course he's going to telegraph exactly where he's... What was that all about? Why? Oh, he's got it in the wrong control group. You can see everything's coming over here. He's got him in the wrong control group. Son, you got to be going and get those relics. There we go. He's going to go down and grab that relic all the way towards the west corner of the bank. Golden Age Tier 1 now online, and of course Age 3 is well and truly here. Plenty of vills on gold for him. The economy, the meta has come a long way since the days of getting all those villages delivered to you after you've aged. Of course, now we see the Camel Lancers starting to really begin to be quite a force to be reckoned with out here. Excuse me. Sorry. I just needed to clear my throat right there. I'll let you listen to my burp, but I'm not going to let you listen to myself clearing my throat. It's, yeah, it's not the nicest sound. But look, we're okay. We're all back, and some low health on these units here. Obviously going to be healed up by the king as well as the abbey, inevitably when they do move over towards that position. We see textiles coming through. Demu knows that he might be in a little bit of trouble here. Of course, Demu, he's on the defensive, at least early on in this castle age. The question's going to be about whether or not he's able to get out onto the map and deny those relics anymore. And at the moment, we see that it's not going to be the case. Of course, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to be going horsemen or knights to deny relics because you're up against camel lancers, which are just going to be doing so much better. Unfortunately, the first of the villagers does go down. And with that, Demu running for cover underneath the town center. Meanwhile, back towards the base of his opponent, the walls begin to go up just to try and secure everything a little bit more. Obviously aware that his opponent is going into cavalry, and while we can kill it, we can't always control it. It's 3 relics. 3 relics now in the bag for our Ayyubid player, and almost certainly the 4th and 5th will be coming in any second, as they are the 2 closest relics on this map to exactly where he wants them in his base. So we'll check back in and see how Demu's doing, as we've got more upgrades on the way. Veterancy for the Desert Raiders coming through. We've also got our specialized pick coming through for our Ayyubid player. Demu not with any upgrades at the moment, but economy looking strong. That 2 TC is pumping. He's up 4 villages at this stage of the game. And back towards the front, we have more skirmishes still unfolding. Now, do we see an Imperial that gets a little bit quick in here? Perhaps. It could be an option. Of course, the English notorious for it. Their ability to stay in their base, play with very cheap, affordable farms. And of course, scale that villager count. It's very difficult to crack this nut, so it could be an option for him. He could look for a Berkshire. I'll tell you what, nice little defensive Berkshire. Where would you even go? Over here, definitely. This is the best spot. This is 12k of gold right here. If you can secure this, you got gold for the rest of the game. Well, not the rest of the game, but a long time left in the game. Let's just put it that way. Crossbows, together with knights, now going to be coming out from. Of course, crossbows going to be very effective at dealing with the cavalry, but, well, I should say with the armored cavalry, but will they be able to catch the armored cavalry? That is going to be the question. Now, Demu now moving out onto the map. All 5 relics in possession of the enemy. And indeed, Demu now down 5 relics to 0. A painful amount. This means that no matter what, the longer the game goes on, the Ayyubids just get that further and further ahead with regard to their gold income. A whole bunch of extra gold coming through. Second town center also coming up for our Ayyubid player. Aware that his opponent's gone into the King's Palace. Now looking to defend back at home as the Stonevilles run for their life. Our Ayyubid player on the defensive for one of the rare times this game. And Demu now looking to try and escape because all that army has come back. We see eco upgrades on the side of our Ayyubid player. Now looking to double down even further. We've got a whole bunch of Desert Raiders that have once again spawned. I tell you what, these Desert Raiders coming in for free, this is so crazy good. Every 2 minutes, just getting a delivery of 3 Desert Raiders. It's so nice just to supplement the army. Just to be like, hey, you know what? Like that's really helpful. That's really handy. That's so good. 3rd TC. He's going for a 3rd TC. He's going for a 3rd TC, and I don't even think he's got an eco wing, and he's doing it with a 3rd TC. Doesn't really matter with an eco wing. He's playing as the Ayyubids, not as the Abbasid. So 2 different sides of a coin. But 3 TCs now coming through for him. So he feels very comfortable and very confident that he's going to be able to not only keep up with Demu, but absolutely surpass him on that villager count. So, of course, Demu is going to be in a bit of a tough position here. Now, what does Demu know? Now, Demu, we don't know what you know because we don't see what you see, unfortunately. But I would suspect Demu probably knows about the 2nd TC. We did see him come in on this angle. He forced back these Stonevilles. He saw that there was a lot of stone missing from here. And that's going to tell him a couple of things. Number 1, there's probably a TC, and he probably saw it. Number 2, there could be a 2nd TC somewhere, or a 3rd TC in this case. Or there could be a keep coming up soon. So he's going to spend his time at the moment in the middle of the map, just looking to try and normalize, standardize. What's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, this is the early onset dementia that's sitting. He's looking to neutralize. There we go. Not normalize. We almost got it. Don't worry. Words are a good thing. How many farms are we on? Let's do a quick farm check right here for Demu. Demu's sitting on 20 farms. So not a lot of farms, but about what you'd expect at this point. I would expect in the next minute or so we'd see him begin to add in another set of farms right here. He's got a great spot for it. All the production in the back of the base. Always a bit weird when I see that. But the town center being forward facing, obviously it's a good thing. Meanwhile, infantry moving up around the west. And remember what we said earlier, the fact that infantry, or at least crossbows, very good at dealing with armored cavalry units. The question is going to be about whether or not they can actually connect with them because, well, they're slow, not particularly fast. And now in the middle of the map we do see a springald emplacement now coming through. This should reveal to Demu, the springald emplacement should reveal the town center. They are immediately adjacent, so if he does come down, I think it should reveal that town center there also. But now Demu moving forward. Vil goes down. Outpost as well. There is cavalry behind the scenes. I don't know whether or not it's coming back. Indeed, it is coming back. Men-at-arms are there as well. Should get absolutely obliterated. He hasn't picked up any unique English tech just yet. Specialized pick coming through for Demu. +1 range attack coming through for our Ayyubid player. And both of these guys are looking to continue pushing forward. And there it is, those extra 8 farms that we suspected we would see towards the front of the base. It's always curious. I find it strange when these English players build their bases back to front. You've got your production at the back and your villages at the front. I always kind of liked it the other way, where you'd build your axes and your rangers at the front, but obviously they're a bit more exposed if you do that. But I always kind of like drew a line here in front of my town center. I was like, okay, this is going to be my production of my houses, and this is going to be my farms. But it seems Demu hasn't done that today. In fact, Demu might be in a little bit of trouble here. Surrounded from both angles on the south, as now the Camel Raiders, together with some crossbows for a little bit of backup, are coming through, and the numbers are looking very convincing here for our Ayyubid player. Demu caught out of position with his infantry mass. King goes down. That's it. 50 pop. No, wrong game mode, Drongo. Wrong game mode. That's all right. Desert Raiders should be able to easily clean this up, and they pick off these crossbows one by one on the back line. And good night, sweet prince. More reinforcements coming in from Demu. Once again, I don't know if this is the right call. You've got crossbows here to take out the men-at-arms, and the Desert Raiders should be able to take out the crossbows. So this is a curious case of an attack here, but I guess it's still a trade. It is a trade. We'll say that much. It's a trade. It's just definitely a downhill trade, and he is going to try his best to continue kiting away, but unfortunately losing out on this for the moment. We can see the Dervish just doing work, trying to heal up the Desert Raiders. Unfortunately, still going to get picked off, so I don't know whether or not it really changes much, and we start to see him moving out over towards the west with some Vils. Crossbows looking to reunite with that main army, or not main army, but rather crossbows looking to reunite, well, I guess, with that main army. There we go. So 3 TCs up for our Ayyubids, as well as the 5 relics, as well as an army lead. He's up by 10 population, and he's decided to call it off, says he doesn't want to overcommit, and that's definitely the right call here. And the truth is, he doesn't need to commit here, because he's already winning. He's winning because he's got the 3 TCs. We know he's going to be able to outscale Demu. He's going to be able to hit that 130 villager goal before his opponent should be able to do it. Of course, on top of that, he's also got 3 sacred sites, so he's trickling in that gold coming through every minute, and then of course the cherry on top, the 5 relics. And undoubtedly, once we do get over to Imperial Age and Tithe Barns comes through, you're just going to be having an absolute field day when it comes to that economy. It is just so many resources. If we take a look, we can actually calc it right now. We've got 3 in here, 2 in here, so a total of 400 gold per minute coming through here. And then on top of that, you've also got an extra 200 food, 200 wood, so now you're talking 800 resources per minute, and then 10 stone. So 850 resources per minute going to be coming in over the top of your opponent, and that's not even including your sacred sites. That's incredible. That's a huge amount of resources. So let's check back in on that south side. Demu now going to be running those Vils away. Unfortunately, they are on the front line a little bit. I mean, it's not really the front line. It's kind of the side of the TC, which I think is fine. Does have the King's Palace here. Now the village elite has gone over to our Ayyubid player. Demu once again on the defense. Now the question is, do we start seeing Imperial attempts from either of these players? Well, I don't think we need to see Imperial from our Ayyubid player. Honestly, for our Ayyubids, what I'd love to see is maybe a keep on a sacred site. Probably, like you can wall this one off and maybe a keep up here, and then keep your army in the middle. And then just keep making army. You don't need to go Imperial Age here. All you need to do is, if your enemy goes imp, absolutely follow them up. But you don't need to go imp here. All you need to do is just keep making army. I think that's absolutely the right choice. And at the same time, I'd definitely consider looking to get these sacred sites secured. It doesn't have to be walls. It doesn't even have to be. A fortress or a keep. An outpost with a couple spring emplacements is going to do more than enough to deter your opponent until they really have to 100% commit. But now, Demu going to be spotting out this raid coming through. His opponent does see that there are buildings out here, but those villagers did manage to just escape. Shaft mining going to be coming through for Demu. At the same time on the other side, lumber preservation going to be coming through for his opponent. So everyone's looking to expand out the economy. Unfortunately, shaft mining is going to get taken out here. Vils have now dropped down an outpost, more military, making their way up towards this position. Wants to keep that mining camp alive so that the shaft mining does eventually get through. Vils have begun moving out over onto berries. We've got berries back here over on deer. We're at 18, 19 minutes and only a single 2 farms. 2 farms put down, another 3 on the way. So the farm transition is going to be happening here for our Ayyubid player. It's going to take some time for them to do it, but of course this is one thing that will contest their resources. If we think about resources and when you're spending it, obviously you want to be spending it on military. That's kind of important. But if you have to spend it on farms, well, that's something that you would... You know, you got to spend it on farms instead of on military units. So Demu does have a brief advantage at the moment and could look to push it. The numbers are in his favor at the moment when it comes to the military. However, when it comes to the economy, he's behind by 10. Don't mention the relics. Don't mention the sacred sites. I was about to say, don't mention the APHIS, but that is the wrong game, Tronco. Don't worry. You'll get APHIS out of your head one day, my friend. That's for all the Beyond All Reason players out there. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But now, towards the middle of the map, the battle begins to unfold. The king on the front line looking to try and find his way through. Finally makes a connection with the enemy cavalry, but we can see the longbows together with the crossbows for the English are looking to pick apart that front line. Nice little bit of kiting here as the longbows make their way to the front. He wants to get rid of them first. Crossbows now going to try and kite back. You can see how he keeps the longbows in here, just focusing down the back line. Spear's going to join the front here as more reinforcements come through for the English. Part of the reason why I love the military buildings at the front is because they can reinforce faster. Of course, they're going to be subject to death before everything else, but at the same time, you can reinforce a lot sooner. Spring on emplacement in this outpost. It's going to be hard to take it down. He has fortified it. So keep in mind, you've got that 5 fire armor that's going to prevent a lot of the damage that's coming in from these spears here. You should be able to single-handedly focus them down as well if you really wanted to. Of course, no real way to repair this at the moment. He's got Vils inside. I think it's Vils inside. It should be Vils inside. So we could always try. One of the things that you can do is bring the army up and then try and repair at the same time. That's exactly what he's going to do right here. We can see both players with clear line of sight of this position, so know exactly what's happening. And you can see the villager dies while it's inside. You try and pixel PP, but my friend, you're going to get absolutely perfectly focused down by the opponent. Now Demo adding even more units in. We'll switch it over to income per minute. We're 20 minutes into this game, almost 21 through. Well, technically, we're in our 21st minute at the moment, about to be 22. If you really want to get technical, but once again, I think the infantry is going to be fine here for Demo. He is holding on. He's got double the military count of his opponent at the moment, 44 to 25. And now able to force back these units, and I think this might be it for this outpost, at least for the moment. He's got no way to deal with this, though. He needs a battering ram. He needs a trebuchet. No, not a trebuchet. He probably just want a battering ram, to be honest. That'll deal with it. And we can now see Military Academy going to be coming in as well. But keep in mind, these sacred sites are ticking. 4 minutes and 35 seconds. And, of course, Demu is paying his attention to the front here, slowly taking down that outpost. But, of course, that sacred site timer, that is also an issue. Vil count. Now have a look at that Vil count. Have a look at that Vil count. Up 20 Vils right now in this game. 21 Vils. He's about to hit that 130 limit. Of course, the Ayyubids well and truly ahead of Demo at this stage. Beautiful control over the resources. Securing up gold over towards the edge of the map. Still got gold available in the main base. Still got gold available in the north of the map. And of course, has gold coming out the wazoo from the relics. Has gold coming out the wazoo from the sacred sites. There's just too much gold. There's too much wazoo. There's too much everything coming through for those Ayyubids at the moment. Now, as we cross the 22-minute mark into the 23rd minute, Demu moves to the north and he says, I think I've identified the weak point. And this is part of what I was talking about earlier in the sense that I kind of like having the keep up here on the north because this is going to be the hardest to defend. You're anchored. If we look at the base, you're anchored very much towards this south side, right? It means that you want to try and keep your military in the middle towards the south, which means this is the one that sticks out the most. So if you can put a keep in here and prevent your enemy from doing what they're doing right now, you're able to actually secure that sacred victory. But I don't think he wanted that sacred victory. I think he was just holding the sacred sites because he knew I can get gold from it. And that's a pretty smart move. Siege Workshop now going to be coming down. Probably going to be moving into Trebs here. Does make sense. I would honestly prefer at this stage, Demu, now that you've secured, now that you know the game is not going to be over right in the next 4 minutes because you've neutralized the sacred site, I would say the best thing that you could do is go Imperial. I think the going Imp here actually makes a lot of sense because then instead of having to pay for Trebs the good old-fashioned way, what you can do is pay for them through the Wynguard. Now, of course, you could go Berkshire, but he's already got control out here, and there's not a whole lot of gold left in here, so he doesn't really need to go Berkshire. And of course, yeah, you could do a Berkshire up towards the front here, but you're just neutralizing a sacred site for the rest of the game, and sure, like, yeah, it's going to be annoying for your opponent, but I feel like the Wynguard is where you're really going to get that value. So hopefully that's what we see him begin to think about. He is at 200 pop, so I suspect it's almost certainly going to be coming through. As we know, it is coming through for his opponent. We take a look at exactly what he's going for. He's going for the Eco Wing. 10 villagers, and all villagers work 10% faster. That's a pretty good bonus. An extra 10%. If we think about what these upgrades do, this is dropping off 15% more resources. If we take a look, probably the mill is going to give us the best comparison because the lumber camp, of course, is going to do something similar to the gold. If we take a look at the mill, it's an extra 10%. So you're basically getting an extra tier on top of all those other upgrades that you've previously gotten, which is pretty cool. Very nice addition. Of course, when you think about it in terms of tiers, the English are literally 3 tiers above where you would be. So that's something to be said. Wynguard, good. Demi makes the right choice, but I don't like this positioning. The Wynguard at the front is objectively a bad decision. I hate saying objectively bad decision when I've been like AFK for so long and it's one of the best players in the world, but God, I hate this so much. Just put it on the back. Just put it on the back. This is one of the most important landmarks in the game. Please, please just put it on the back. It's okay. Your trebs can walk an extra 15 seconds. It's not gonna hurt. It's all right. But as soon as you put this here, it just makes a big target on the front. Oh man, it's scary to watch. And all it needs is like one stray bombard to decide, hey, I'm gonna like one bad fight and a stray bombard, and you've lost your Wynguard, and that's it. Like, of course, you might lose the game as well. Not as a result, but just like you may have just lost the game as well anyway. But it's one of those things that it's like, why would you put a nail in your coffin and then just wait for your opponent to hammer it in? Because that's kind of what it feels like. Now, by the way, I got to get this Red Bull going. I've only had like one sip of this bad boy, so give me a second here. Both of them reaching imp at the exact same time. Look at the upgrades coming through. We've got enclosures, we've got elite men-at-arms, elite spears coming through, we've got fitted leatherwork only just arriving, elite crossbowmen. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tithe Barns, of course, going to be coming in. We've got Copulation coming through, elite horsemen. We've got precision crossbreeding, we've got crosscut sword, we've got all the eco upgrades together with elite crossbowmen. I love to see all these big eco upgrades coming through as well. The fact that they're now viable. You remember back in the good old days where people would just laugh at the tier 3 eco upgrades, and now it's like they're mandatory? I love that. I love that so much. But this Ayyubid economy is kind of crazy. 149 vils? Bro, do you even military? Excuse me? That is way too many vils. At 150 vils, this is where you start deleting vils. The only civ that can do this is the Holy Roman Empire. It's literally the only civ that is allowed to do that. And that's because you go to 150 vils and you're making knights. And then eventually you're going to delete vils because you're going to make other units. Knights are really good when it comes to like their cost per pop. Because you have to spend a lot of money to get them. So you've got like essentially a bigger army for the same pop. That's essentially it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see these get deleted. I would be very surprised if we see these stay around for another minute or two. But he is going to be building up resources because the reality is you got 150 vils, you got money in the bank. There's no point to have these vils. So hopefully even the TCs aren't training anymore. Indeed, they are not training anymore. So he knows he's hit the limit. He definitely knows hey, I don't need to make any more vils here, which is good. That is a good thing to see. Keep now going to be coming up in the north as well. Keep in mind, we don't have the network of citadels up just yet. I say that, but Demu's on the ball. He is on the ball. He knows exactly what life is about. It is, of course, English longbow upgrades. That's what life is all about as we see more incendiary arrows coming through. +3 on the ranged attack. We've also got elite longbows coming through. Indeed, life is about longbows, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best things in life. It's not free. It's longbows. All right, let me drink this Red Bull. Hold on. That's a good drink. That's a good drink of Red Bull. What can I say? What can I say? That is damn good. Demu now moving forward. He's max population. No siege on the field. Keep that in mind. Wynguard Rangers potentially coming out as well for him as the king goes down once again. Probably going to get thrown in queue immediately. Boiling oil now on the field. I don't think you can really contest this. I mean, there's not a lot of units here, so it's definitely a decent fight for Demu. He should be able to take an advantageous trade. There we go. We got it out eventually. But behind the scenes, look at that vil count. 149, and now Demu going to be losing vils. Not a good position to be in. I'd love to see Demu here with just 2, 3, 4 traps somewhere in that region. Maybe even a couple of bombards if you're feeling it. But I think we might need some walls here. That's the problem. When you don't have walls, is your enemy can walk right into your base. 115 vils at the moment. And the vil count going to continue to decline as Demu gets raided. And he's dealing with his enemy on the front, but you can see the enemy's got a huge amount of production that is just pumping units non-stop towards his position. So despite the fact he's got 150 vils, well, he's just deleted 10. Despite the fact that he's got 139 vils, he's able to keep up with the enemy just simply because he's got crazy amounts of production. How much has he actually got? Let's double check here. Yeah, 13 stables, 13 archery rangers. Exactly what you need. I would not have any less than this. I'd not have any more than this. This is the perfect amount. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's raiding behind the scenes. Another 10 vils have died since we last looked. 17, and all sacred sites have once again now been taken, despite that keep in the north. How did you manage to capture that? Well, fortunately, the keep doesn't cover this little spot right here. So now we got ourselves a classic keep off in the middle of the map. Keep off. Keep off. Keep off this. Keep off this spot. Keep off this location. Keep off. Keep off the grass. So Demu now finally going into the bombard. It's up to the north because, of course, you can make a bombard, so it definitely makes sense. We've got the siege workshop towards the front. We'll look to keep an eye out on whether or not we get any special upgrades coming through, but unfortunately that deer was in the wrong place at the wrong time, my friend, and you got sniped. Let's check in and see how these Wynguard Rangers are doing. What kind of range are we talking here for our Rangers? We're talking about 8 tiles of range. Not a bad amount of range. I think we can get a little bit more, right? If I double check on the university, I think we can get more range from here. Silk bowstrings. Yeah, we should be getting silk bowstrings. That's a cool tech. Let's get silk bowstrings. Come on, Demu. Fight back with your longbows or your rangers. I do feel like the positioning right now for our Ayyubid player is incredible, though. I will say that. it looks really good for him. The way that he's got control down towards the south side of the map. The fact that he's got a wall up as well, very nice. I do like walls. I'm a big fan of walls. I feel like they're such a small investment and they give you such a great return. So it's, you know, it's rare that they're not good value. Now back towards the middle. Hand Cannoneer is going to really start to build up here. He's up to 30 Hand Cannoneers, 37 Horsemen, and you can see the economy behind this is starting to dwindle, 125 Vils, so definitely dropping a little bit here, but look at the Horsemen as they're racing down from the north. Have we got biology in? I suspect we probably do, and you got numbers like that. 225 health on these bad boys as they now look to maul all the ranged units on the back line. Get a beautiful surround. Demu trying his best to micro through. Not able to find a real connection here. Unfortunately, the Ayyubid player absolutely sealing the deal here. This could be it right here, right now. Needs to continue putting the pressure on. Demu finally putting some production on the front line to help out with those reinforcements, but is it going to be too little too late? The numbers looking not the best for him with regard to economy, but he's able to hold back under the English safety net of the town centre together with 1 million villagers. Well, the villagers aren't firing. It's just that the Wynguard Rangers are standing in the farm, so they look like villagers, but they're actually completely qualified archers. Not that, I'll say it right now, not that the English villagers are not qualified archers. It's just that you do your work best in the field, my friend. You stay in the field, Gerald. So where do we go from here? From here, we have to move into siege. There's no way. Like, if you're going to try and get through this, you have to get some siege out. And that's what we start to see now as battering rams begin to make their way onto the field. We've got 4 of them out now, 5 technically. If we look up at the UI and the Horsemen making their way down. Beautiful combo coming out here from our Ayyubid player, the Horsemen, together with the Hand Cannoneers. A deadly combination coming through here. A lot of damage on that back line and a lot of health on that front line in the form of those Horsemen. Now looking for a connection. The longbows firing off at the back, able to tee off and hit all of these individual Horsemen. The question is going to be, is he going to be able to produce enough units to get to the front in time? You can see how much trouble he's struggling with. Let's check how many production buildings he's got. He doesn't have enough production buildings. He's only just got 11 Raxes and there's 2 under construction. He's only just built them all. So he's way behind when it comes to his production numbers. He could have a lot more units on the field here, and that's where things are not going well for him. Battering rams continue to make their way down the field and target that production that we already know is somewhat struggling with. Needs more units out here. Needs to try and get this front a little bit more bolstered. Meanwhile, towards the north, it looks like the bombard has either been moved on or moved out. And it looks like it may be the latter, as unfortunately, the bombard is no longer on the field. So maybe a couple of Horsemen did go up and deal with that. Okay, I see it. I see the vision. The Wynguard Rangers. Has he got them queued up? No, we're going into Wynguard Army now. There's a fair few Wynguard Rangers on the field. And these guys do have 9.5 tiles of range. So there is absolutely a world where you go Spearman, Wynguard Ranger, and you win this game. But I think you need a couple bombards in the back. I think that's got to be it. Demu at 124 Vils. So economy is solid at this point. Enclosures is kicking well for him. But look at the eco difference. Holy moly. 5.5k for Demu. Gosh, I don't even want to count it. It's like 8k for our Ayyubid player. He is so far ahead. It's the sacred sites. It's the relics. It's the 10% on all your villagers. He's got less Vils than his opponent, but his economy is just absolutely insanity. Look at this. Where's he getting it all from? Has he got traders or something? Oh, and then he's got the bonuses as well coming through from here. Gets the extra 10% from the tier 1. So there's definitely a lot. Demu now with the trebuchet coming out. I feel like Wynguard Rangers from here is going to be the best bet, and then just making bombards. So like making bombards from your keep that is about to die, unfortunately. Losing quite a bit of units here towards the front. Keep in mind, all sacred sites are still held by our Ayyubid player. We've got 5 minutes and 21 seconds left on it. He's technically standing on the sacred site right here. Hand Cannoneers are going to try and push this one out. And oh, well, the Horsemen from the south. I didn't see it. Demu didn't see it either. Now looking to clean house. All those yeomen. Where are the defenses? Where are the defenders? There are no defenders. There are 9 spearmen that are out right now. He needs to be spamming spears to the front. He's got the resources for it. He does not have the production. There's no way. There's no way. That's way too many units. There's no way. How does he win this? How does he possibly come back from this now? His opponent has got all 3 sacred sites. He's just completely neutralized this army. Demu is outnumbered 2-1 at the very least. It is not looking good for him. And now with no walls up, his opponent easily able to run through the base, get into the face, and absolutely destroy everything. He's going to come back for these outposts, clear it out slowly. Manganel joins the fray. Rather, Manjanik joins the fray here. And 4 minutes and 30 seconds remain on these sacred sites. Look at the amount of production that is back here. And I think that really just becomes the bottom line in this caster game, is just a difference in production, a difference in economies. I still can't get over this. This is incredible. He's still sitting at 8k resources a minute. That is ridiculous compared to Demu, who's sitting on 5.5k. Their economies are pretty much even Stevens. He's got enclosures. He's got precision. He doesn't have precision crossbreeding. That wouldn't have made a difference. It really doesn't make a difference. I mean, people are going to look at that and be like, he doesn't have precision crossbreeding. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't. And that's pretty big. It's pretty big. It's not that big. He's playing English. He's fine. Battering ram now forced away from the English base. And once again, Demu is going to hold the line. Ranger numbers continue to build up. He's got more in queue. An army of Wynguard Rangers is on the way. He's got some footmen out as well. Always good to see. But I think realistically at this point, Ayyubid player can just continue making hand cannoneers and horsemen. And as long as you're spamming horsemen to the front and you've got them in queue, so the moment that a horseman dies, another horseman replaces him and he's just got to run to the front, you're in a really good spot. Oh my god, look at the mangonel numbers. Look at the mangonel numbers. Don't do him like this. Manjanique's actually getting destroyed by the Rangers right now. Those Manjaniques, they want it. They want it. They want it so bad. Oh, it's massive. It's not a whole lot of damage, though. The spread was incredible, though. I tell you what, looking like a Christmas feast right there. God, those Manjaniques from the top, bro. They look like they're going to do so much damage, and then they come out like a wet paper bag. Oh, man. Oh! No, nothing. Absolute nothing. And now those hand cannons. I mean, he's doing it slowly. It's death by 1,000 cuts. The deer! Not the deer! Demu! Why the deer? What did the deer do? The deer did nothing to you. Now 52 hand cannoneers, 8 Manjaniques. Ayyubids finishing this game in style. There's no way in 2 minutes and 39 seconds you're pushing back these sacred sites. Not when there's a keep on it. Not when you've got an army in the middle that is just pushing back your entire army, and not when it's walled in. More Manjaniques going to continue coming up, and we are seeing a meme, a dream, and a steamroll right now as our Ayyubid player is indeed having the time of his life. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how much longer this game goes, but I'm pretty happy to call it at this point. We're at 100% certainty that this game is won by the Ayyubids here. What a game. What an incredible game that we got to see here from our Ayyubid player. Just very well controlled, really good knowledge of the game, and just knew everything that he needed to do. King coming out, going to try and face the incredible here. The army of Manjaniques coming in, not able to do. Oh my god, he's just burning everything down. He's literally burning down the base of Demu. There's nothing Demu could do. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this casted game. If you have, make sure you go check out Demu. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can watch him live over on Twitch. Welcome back. It's been a long time since we've done these casted games, but I tell you what, it feels good to be back, and it feels good to be enjoying Age of Empires 4.